Yes, the devil came up from Georgia looking for an act to steal. He was in a bind, he was way behind. Told us he couldn't pay his bills. All right, we're going to go over this. A few clips here from Eric talking about bringing Timmy back to Georgia. Now, I've seen a few comments, maybe one or two, where people said, well, I didn't hear him saying anything about bringing Timmy to Georgia. Like, okay, well, he has been. That's been his number one goal, okay, because he wants to bring Timmy home, be all for himself and all that stuff. Okay, we're going to look at the messy timeline here. We're going to just show you where this started. And it was on the 24th here when Eric went home for one day. And everything I said, but he's acting like everything was fine. And I'm going to go over this clips from this video here. And when he came back, it was evict BJ, restraining order BJ, and all this other stuff, a big emergency. So we'll go over that. But first of all, let's just orientate ourselves. Eric was back for a week in August. He went home when BJ was bailed out of jail. He went home for a week, argued with BJ over the phone. He came back for only 2 days and something, well, 2 or 3 days, something didn't go over too well. And he went right back home to regroup. And on the 24th, he made a video and made it sound, that's when he first started the what ifs. Well, what if Timmy, something happened to everybody and he had to go to an orphanage or something? The what ifs started here. And this is also the video I'm going to show you where he's, planting seeds about bringing Timmy back to Georgia. And it's so funny because he started out where it was going to be 2 dads and a Timmy. Remember, he was going to share joint custody with Patrick. And then later, that when they had the falling out, he said, well, I was going to do joint custody with Patrick, but then, that changed or whatever. So this is when he's still playing nice. We don't even know nothing's wrong. As a matter of fact, we don't even know BJ got arrested weeks ago. This is right before everything went south. And if you see, everything was, we thought everything was fine. Then he does this podcast where he's just throwing out ideas about adopting Timmy and all this other stuff for the first time. Then, right after that, we hear about all this BJ stuff, like the next day or two. Everything just went haywire overnight, apparently. So let's look at this video right here, the last normalcy that we saw, but it wasn't really normal. But last time Eric played nice, appeared to play nice, and that was that day. Now, there's so many clips that I actually have to break this into 2 videos. I have to, because I got a lot of clips of him saying that he's bringing Timmy back to Georgia, which is the point of this video. For those who didn't hear it, out of Eric's mouth, but also I have another video I'll probably have to do with all the times that Eric said about adopting adopting Timmy. And this was, like I said, the turning point around the BJ stuff is when he started pushing this adoption thing. Because in my opinion, I think that he knew his time was short. The devil knew his time was short, and he had to make a plan maybe to extract Timmy out of Virginia and just have him to himself. That's what I think. But anyway, so there'll be probably a different video at a different time about all the times he said about adopting Timmy. And like I said in other videos, so many other videos, who said Timmy's up for adoption? It's like you're trying to buy something that's not for sale. And he buys things with other people's money. We know that. But he started out on that Sunday where he was, here. I'm sorry, it was this video. And this is where nobody knows anything's wrong. Nobody knows anything about BJ. And this is right before the crap hits the fan. So he's going to start this. Timmy will, people are concerned because he has people in the chat screaming for Eric to take Timmy back home to Georgia with him to live. And good grief, you talk about manipulation. To be screaming for a stranger from Georgia to take a man out of his home, out of a family that he loves and they love him, where he's, in my opinion, just fine. But they're screaming. He's manipulated people. And it's called the Hegelian dialect, and it's problem, reaction, solution. Now, had he come in the first day and said he's going to take Timmy home, everybody would be screaming, "No, you're a monster. That's terrible." But if he makes there a problem, like, oh my gosh, Timmy's being beaten with a shoe every day, and Timmy's being abused, he's being pounded on, he's got to get out of there, it's not fit for humans. And I can happen to have him at my house. Look what look what a nice dad I am. I'm being daddy to Timmy in front of everybody. So then everybody says, huh, we have an idea, Eric. Since his home is unfit and you seem to get along, why don't you take him home? That's how this works. If he came right out of the beginning and said he wants to take him, nobody would have gone for it. But if he makes a problem, has everybody react, and then he comes up with the solution. Okay, well, if you insist, I'll take him home. Make it seem like it's their idea. It's just a master manipulator. Anyway. So he starts out saying like, oh my gosh, no, I would never take Timmy away from his mommy. It's just like, because some people are saying, Eric, this going to Georgia thing, we're a little, now most people are for it. But a few people that are still thinking clearly say, Eric, I don't know about this. He loves Lorraine. Lorraine loves him. They just can't be apart. They never spend a day apart, ever. And so he's like, oh, no, I would never take him for good, not until she dies, So this is for after Lorraine dies, he's trying to say. So he's easing into this whole idea.
Timmy, who's that right
there? Oh, and he also tries to make you believe that he's very sensitive to him and to Timmy and Lorraine's mother-son relationship. He's very aware that he would never want to hurt Lorraine, never try to take Timmy away, and so conscious of her feelings and everything. And this is just more crap, if you ask me.
I would love hearing him say that. Never since. I've done that with him a couple times. Now, when we pull up, I don't know what it started, but like he gets excited. Mama. He even loves his mom. Loves his mom.
Yeah, we didn't need you to tell us that, Eric. We knew that years ago. But he's acting like he just is showing the world the love they have. I know, we already know. That's why we're concerned about you coming around.
How will Betty and his mom feel about him being gone? She'll be okay. Because she knows, again, he's being taken care of. Do you guys trust me with Timmy? I promise.
Do you guys trust me with Timmy? Yeah, and that's been the whole point. The whole point all along is to build your trust, build the, public's trust for him, and to actually yell and scream for him to take Timmy home. And that's exactly what happened. 90% of the people.
Taken care of. Do you guys trust me with Timmy?
Nope.
I promise you, he's going to be in good care. And he is when he's with Patrick.
We saw what your promises now fall through.
Happen to him. He's a handful. Let me tell you something. In the morning, the last thing that guy needs is a cup of coffee. When I say it, like, again, you wouldn't think he's 46 because of all the energy he's got. He's like a little kid that just ate all the chocolate and sugar in the house.
And it's funny because you've been bringing that chocolate and sugar in the house. And I don't know why his eyes keep going cross like that. That is so weird.
Bouncing around everywhere. And it's funny, but there's also that time like, Timmy!
Where he gets livid. Yeah, there's times where he's livid at Timmy. So.
And it's funny, but there's also that time like, Timmy! Kelly, Chris, I'm going to get you like maybe 5 more questions, guys, and we're going to get out of here. I want to spend some time with the family, if that's okay.
Yeah, he's the first time he's been home probably since spring, and he's going to leave in the morning. So yeah, he's got to get in an hour or two with the family before he goes back. And it really always bothered me when Eric and other people would say that Timmy has wasted his life with his family. This says you. Okay, we could all say that, Eric, you wasted your life too with all kinds of nonsense. You could say that to anybody, but I've never heard Timmy complaining that he wasted his life, or anybody in the Whitakers complaining that they wasted their life. But that's what Eric has decided, and he's decided that he has to change everything about Timmy. And that's another thing. All these people in the comments, fix his eye, get his eye fixed, have surgery on his eye, and get him dentures and blah blah blah. They're trying to turn the Whitakers into something that they're not. And I didn't hear anybody ask for that. But yeah, they're trying to. They think that these are just like clay models or puppets that they can just do what they want with. Anyway, go ahead, Eric. He's been waiting to talk. Go ahead, Eric.
Here's some video games and stuff down there, and Timmy went in there, and he was, and I could tell he wanted to be there. I said, Timmy, you like that? Yeah. I said, you want to stay with me? Yeah. So he stayed with us guys, and he loved it. He never had his own bedroom.
And I don't think he wants his own bedroom. By every single account, Timmy and Lorraine sleep in the same room or sleep together. So I don't know. I think he wants to be with his mom. I don't think he wants to sleep alone at night. And as a matter of fact, how many times did both Eric and Patrick say that, oh, Timmy doesn't like to be alone at night. He wants to come in with somebody else. Yeah. So you're wanting his own room is bullcrap. We never heard anything about anybody saying they want their own rooms. Never had his own bedroom. And he still doesn't, by the way.
Never had his own bedroom. And
actually, we don't know where he is right now. Nobody's seen him for a month, so. Right now, he doesn't even have the place that he loved. Thanks to Eric.
Bedroom. Never had his own bedroom. And I made him a promise that day. We're going to get that guy a house.
Okay, yeah. And he made that guy a promise that day. We're going to get him that house. That's 2 now. 2 times in 2 days I've showed you where Eric has promised Timmy a new house. When he's riding in the truck, dropping Timmy off, I swear if it's the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get you that house in your own bedroom. And he does it just how many times? And I even have a clip of him promising Lorraine on that same Friday that he canceled the deal. I think it was, it was. It was because that John Mass made his one and only appearance. That was a weird clip. And I don't see that clip around anymore. I have it, but anyway. I digress. So, yeah. Promise him he's going to have that house. How many times he promised every single family member? And now, yeah, made an excuse to run. And I just think it's so weird. His hair, he puts so much hair gel in there. It's like those... like at Halloween, the plastic wigs, those that you could just knock on. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he's really moosing up the hair today. Yeah. Okay, so.
With us guys, and he loved it. He never had his own bedroom. And I made him a promise that day. We're going to get that guy a house.
Yeah. And how did that work out? Did you keep that promise, Eric? Did you keep that promise? I mean, you still got all your own stuff and everything else. You're not lacking anything, but yeah, you left them high and dry.
And I made him a promise that day. We're going to get that guy a house.
Didn't get a house, didn't get money, didn't get nothing.
He deserves it. It's weird because I'm 40. Timmy's 46. And I have to remind myself sometimes I'm talking to an older guy than me.
Right, and you treat him like a child. And I know people say, well, he's got the mind of a child. Well, I'm not too sure about that. He may be slightly delayed or something, but to dress him in these little children's clothes and cram cupcakes down his throat and, read him bedtime stories. You know, I'm going to tell you, how would you like? How would you like it if somebody younger than you, some stranger from out of state YouTuber, comes to your house and dresses you in little baby clothes, and I even had that clip where he's riding in the truck, bringing Timmy home, and he's saying, "What did we do over the weekend? We made cupcakes, cookies," like talking to him like he's 2 years old. And so it's just so cringe for me to see him treat him like a little child, and calling Ray like he's 3 years old. Ray. Anyway, I don't know. I think Timmy should be respected as an adult. Maybe being mindful of his maybe some slight mental delays or something. We don't even know. But to treat him like he's 2 years old, and talk to him like a 2-year-old, and dress him like a 2-year-old, treat him like a 2-year-old, and anyway, yeah, you should remind yourself that actually Timmy's older than you, and he's got a lot more. I think a lot more. He's got better qualities by far, if you ask me, than Eric.
Although it's odd, I feel like I'm talking to one of my kids when I spend time with them.
When you spend time with who, your kids or Timmy? Because yeah,
Timmy has one of the most innocent, pure hearts, guys, the world has ever seen.
yes, and that's why it was such a shame to exploit him like that. And I just got done saying he's got much better qualities and virtues than Eric will ever have, in my opinion.
And for so many years, that innocent soul sat there on that porch with no purpose.
Okay, and how dare you say that? How dare you say that Timmy sat with no purpose? You don't even know Timmy. You just met him as you were bringing him down to adult protection, trying to rip them all apart for your own selfish purposes. And you don't even know this family. And to say that he sat on the porch with no purpose, I think Timmy probably had more purpose in his life than Eric will ever know of. And just here, this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Sitting, just degrading Timmy and all of them. Like they were just worthless till Eric came around. And if you notice, and I've seen other people comment this too, that Eric always just brags about, I did this, I helped them, I made them better, I did this, I did that. They're better because of me. He always wants the glory and the spotlight on him, how well he's doing. And he even said, how many times, I should get clips of this, how many times it says, after all I've done for them, after all I've done for you, Larry, after all I've done for the Whitakers, after all I've done. I didn't see you do anything except spend a lot of money unnecessarily with your friends, doing basically nothing for the Whitakers. Sat on the porch with no purpose. Unbelievable.
Nothing to look forward to.
Nothing to look forward to. Really? This is what I mean. This infuriates me. To say Timmy, to say these things about him. Like he's been sitting waiting for somebody like Eric to come and, rip him out of his home and traumatize the hell out of him.
Nothing to look forward to. If anybody deserves what's going on right now, it's Timmy. And I tell you, Timmy loves this. I know he's excited to come to Georgia. And I can't wait for him to come here. Wait until you see what we've got going on.
Right there. He wants everybody to think that Timmy has wasted his whole life sitting on that porch, worthless. And because of Eric coming along, Timmy gets to go to Georgia. And now Timmy gets to have purpose in his life. And now Timmy's not going to waste his life and be worthless. And he's got people in the chat cheering him on for this. So yeah, if you don't think he ever said he's going to Georgia.
He loves this. I know he's excited to come to Georgia. And I can't wait for him to come here. Wait until you see what we've got going on.
Wait till you see what we got going on. And I believe if Timmy would have went, he would have never came back. 100%. Here's another one from the same podcast. Some people
And
still thinking
Timmy
straight.
would love that. Do you think he'll be okay being away from home for so long? Absolutely. Timmy didn't want to go home that day. Last time I took him, guys.
You believe that? Do you believe Timmy didn't want to go home? All they have to do is go to the movies or to Aldi's, and they go crazy when they get home. He is speaking, and he's even said it. I have to speak for Timmy. No, you don't. Timmy can speak for himself, and I never seen Timmy. And people, yeah, you can get excited. I can get excited to go somewhere, but I want to go home when I'm done. Yeah, it might be fun to be in a hotel and have a big bed and whatever, Airbnb. But when it's done, Timmy wants to go home. So he's trying to convince her. Oh, people are still thinking straight in the chat are saying, because people know Timmy has never spent a single night away from his family that we know of. And do you remember when this first started? I don't remember if it was Patrick. I think it was Patrick. When at the beginning, and Patrick would tell Betty, "Hey, we're gonna take Timmy somewhere," and Betty's like a little sketchy about it. He's like, "Oh, okay," and then I think it was Patrick that said, "Oh, we'll be back later." What did Betty say? Betty would say, "Have him home before dark. Have Timmy home before dark." And you know what? It's too bad, but people that came in and manipulated Betty, because I believe she's easily manipulated. And these two came in and manipulated her. And have him back before dark rule, she broke her own rules. And if she had just stuck to that, have him home before dark, I think we wouldn't be in half this trouble. Letting people take Timmy overnight, especially these complete strangers. Eric from Georgia, nobody even knows him. Everybody just met him. Letting Timmy, I've said this, I've been concerned about this from the get-go. Having this stranger from Georgia who nobody even knows, not even Patrick. Patrick doesn't even know him. And they barely know Patrick by the sounds of it. He's kind of maybe been around here and there, but Eric, they don't know it at all. He's from out of state. Nobody knows him. But Timmy was allowed to go with Eric past dark, overnight, and in fact for an entire week. So when Betty broke her own rules, that's when things went off the rails. And I'm telling everybody, we all have our own set of rules, our standards, our morals, and just our guidelines that we live by. And we all know that once in a while, if we break our own rules, sometimes, it can end badly. And so, it's good to stick to your rules, but people can manipulate others. And Betty was manipulated to break her own rules and let Timmy just go. And, sunset after sunset went by, and Betty disallowed it, which, it's her fault too. But like I said, I think she's very easily manipulated. So, yeah. And then when he started taking her, people were obviously concerned because they don't want Timmy out of their sight. And now he's gone for a week, not only with Eric from Georgia, but douche Mark from California, some John Mass guy from Idaho, and John Mass' friend from North Carolina. We never even knew his name or got eyes on him. Who even knows who that dude they picked up from North Carolina was? And they're all these strange men staying with Timmy, and Eric's in the bed with them, and just like one thing to the next. I've said this before. I'm not going to get too back into it, but I've said this in other videos. Like, Good grief. Good grief. Anyway, it just went so off the rails when Betty broke her own rules. But now they're concerned is, what about him wanting to go home? No, he don't want to go home. He wants to go to Georgia with Eric. He's going to tell you that.
And well, Timmy would love that. Do you think he'll be okay being away from home for so long? Absolutely. Timmy didn't want to go home that day. Last time I took him, guys. So when I was at the Airbnb, brought him over first. We went down some clothes and stuff. Then we took him to the gym. I don't know. Did you guys see Timmy at Planet Fitness? He loved that. He loved it.
He loved it so much for the next 3 days when you asked him, he said, no, no, no. So he didn't love it. He's probably had heart palpitation. Who knows what it did to his heart and his body. Timmy's 46 years old. There ain't an ounce of fat on him. He does not need to go pump iron at the gym with a bad heart. And like I said, he didn't love it, because if he loved it, he would have, the next day when Eric said, and his brother said, let's go again, he would say, okay. And then the next day he'd say, okay, but he didn't. For 3 days in a row, he said no, until they badgered him enough to the fourth day, I think he said, okay, fine.
Brought him over first. We went down some clothes and stuff. Then we took him to the gym. I don't know, did you guys see Timmy at Planet Fitness? He loved that. He loved it. But when I asked him if he wants to go lift some weights, no. He had never been worked out before, guys. And I want to teach him healthy habits. Taking care
of taking care of himself, eating chips, dipping French fries into ice cream. Oh my goodness. Look at the garbage that I've been pointing out. And why does eyes keep going cross? That is so weird. I never really noticed that until I slowed it down. Yeah, go ahead.
Muscles. I had people say, well, you got to be careful. He's got a heart issue.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I said. And I want to teach him healthy habits and to get muscles. Why does Timmy need to get muscles? He's imposing his own fantasies onto Timmy and think, wow, I think this is awesome. You guys are going to think this is awesome.
You've never been worked out before, guys. I want to
probably for good reason.
Taking care of your muscles.
Doctor probably told him not to.
Say, well, you got to be careful. He's got a heart issue.
Yeah.
I know that. The whole family's got heart issues.
I know that. The whole family has heart issues.
The best thing for Timmy would be to get on a treadmill.
Is that what the cardiologist told you, Eric? Huh? What did the cardiologist say about Timmy's heart and getting on a treadmill? The best. Now, look at that. Look at Eric. He's a financial advisor, a planner. He's a social worker. He's a chemical dependency counselor. And now he's a cardiologist. Look at that. Boy, he's a jack of all trades. Master of none.
On that bicycle, he needs to be taught those habits. Not only that.
Okay, why does he need to be taught to go on a bicycle and a stationary bike and lifting weights? He needs to be taught those habits. No, he doesn't. Not only that, this is the part I told you about. This part kills me, about the healthy eating habits. Oh my goodness.
And on that bicycle, he needs to be taught those habits. Not only that, eating habits. But he enjoyed that so much.
That part blows me away. The eating habits. So look at you guys. If he goes with Eric and he goes and lives with Eric, he's going to pump iron. He's going to be on that workout bicycle. Everything's going to be under Eric's supervision. He does not need to bring Timmy to a cardiologist. Eric seems to know all about that. And then he'll teach him healthy eating habits, like eating, 5 pounds of potato chips every day, and, cookies and cupcakes and Rice Krispie bars, and dipping French fries into ice cream and all that stuff that I've just showed you. That's why the audacity to say he's going to teach him healthy habits when we saw how they normally eat. Anyway, unbelievable.
He got done and he took a shower.
And that was another thing. He's giving Timmy 2 showers a day, teaching him how to shower. Like, wait, what? They didn't even have a shower at their house. So why does he have to learn at 46 years old? And why do you have to teach him? And was he in his swimsuit? How were you teaching him? Was he naked? Apparently, I imagine he was. And twice a day you're trying to teach him how to take a shower? That is so freaking weird. And to be fair, uh, it looks like Eric is the one that needs to step into the shower. I think Eric needs to be taught how to take a shower because I've never really seen Timmy filthy or his hair all greasy or stuck to his head or, food stuck in it or I've just never seen him filthy. You know what I mean? So, but Eric uh, doesn't, he doesn't look the most hygienic himself. And here he is, talking about Timmy going back to Georgia. He talked quite a bit, as you can see, during this podcast, right before the day before. As a matter of fact, during this podcast, according to Eric, him and Patrick have been working for 24 hours on this eviction notice, this imaginary eviction notice, that invisible one. They had been already working 24 hours on that. So anyway, he's not being very honest, is he? Anyway, so he's talking about bringing him back to Georgia and been sitting on the porch too long.
Hi, babe. But everybody.
Oh, and then he's supposed to, and because he's going to abscond with Timmy, that's his plans. He's gonna just try to convince everybody how he loves Lorraine. He's got a special relationship with Rain, the mommy, his mother, and so he's very, very close to Lorraine, and Lorraine trusts him, and this would be perfect. She would not mind this wonderful Eric guy to gallop off to another state and with her son. So he wants you to believe that. Him and Lorraine are very close, and he's the only one that knew that Lorraine was getting hit in the head with a shoe instead of a bee sting. Yeah, if you believe it.
She's saying your name, and then I go back and watch it, and I hear it clear as day. And then in that one video where she's with Betty, she's like, "Here you go, Betty." Lorraine can talk. Lorraine's smart. They just never had anybody work with him. Look.
And how do you know? Timmy's actually got a high school. He's got a diploma. I heard that Ray had some people working with him. I've heard all kinds of things. So for you to say nobody's ever worked, what proof do you have, Eric, that nobody's ever worked with the family? And it's kind of funny because you yourself said that the county has worked with this family before, so you really contradict yourself all the time.
Look how far Timmy is coming along, guys.
And that's all for Eric. Eric and Patrick have just turned him into something that nobody asked you to turn him into.
Anybody work with him? Look how far Timmy is coming along, guys. And that's thanks to Patrick, man. Timmy looks up to Patrick like a father. He has spent 46 years of his life sitting there on that porch. And now.
Says who? And they like sitting on the porch. That's like saying to anybody, "Well, Kathy, you spent all summer in your garden." Yeah, I like my garden. So saying that they're wasting their life sitting on the porch and all that stuff, that's maybe their Zen spot. That's the way I know it is. I know that's what they like to do. And watch the cars go by, and that's the most peaceful, and they've got a pretty healthy, peaceful lifestyle. Actually, more than a lot of people. But Eric doesn't. Eric sees it as substandard, and they all need his help to change everything. He doesn't even know how they got this far without him. Go ahead.
His life sitting there on that porch, and now he's finally got life. He's got something to look forward to every day.
He's finally got life. Thanks to Eric and Patrick, Timmy finally has life. I have not heard one Whitaker say any of this. The only time I've ever heard any of this nonsense is coming out of Eric's mouth. I've never heard one Whitaker saying how much better they all are, or any of them. Any single one of them are was before Eric got there. I haven't heard a single Whitaker bragging on Eric. I've only heard Eric bragging on Eric.
And now he's finally got life. He's got something to look forward to every day. And I know that Timmy can thrive if somebody just put some time in there with them. So
if somebody just, takes them back to Georgia and turns them into a cash cow at their own house.
a couple of weeks from now, I'm going to meet with the Amish, but when I get done, especially since Patrick is kind of down and out right now, Timmy's going to come back to Georgia with me for a couple of weeks. Now, I've got some fun stuff we're going to do.
Yeah.
And maybe we can do some Facebook Lives, but Tim's sitting right beside me.
With Tim? Okay, first we had Ray. Now we got Tim. And you just heard him. And I'll tell you when it was. I'll show you in a second. And this is the day he's saying all this. It's about taking Timmy and all this, how important it is. And Timmy would not waste his life and start thriving if he just went home to Georgia with Eric. And he said in a couple weeks, they've already, I told you, back here, I told you on other live streams, right here in this live stream that I'm showing you right now, this is where he's telling everybody it's already decided that on the 6th, after the Amish, he's already got tickets. That's the day he announced the tickets. His friends are coming in, they're meeting the Amish, and then he's talking about this. Now remember, this is this grand scheme of this plan here, because he just came back from 2 or 3 days that didn't work out too well. Sorry, I'm on my table here. He just came back from the broken leg thing with Patrick, the stealing the gas, and then the Airbnb and Eric getting spooked and all that stuff. So that's after the problems, fighting on the phone, BJ gets out of jail, fighting on the phone with BJ. Then he goes back for a couple days, gives it a try, and then he comes right back and has to regroup. This is where he's making his plan. He's bringing up what ifs, and Timmy should come to Georgia. And somehow, and I don't know how, but he's got, where is it? He's got it planned over here to take Timmy home. So he's already, I just showed you, he's already got that planned. Somehow, probably here, he talked Betty into coming for the, coming home to Georgia for just a little bit, just a few weeks, he said. And did you notice right after he came back, talking about that, then all hell breaks loose, and he's trying to get, he's calling in the cavalry, and he gets Dwayne involved, and the eviction notice and all that stuff. So isn't that funny? Right after he talks about this, then he's already got this planned out. So this is where he kicks off this plan and wants everybody to just agree that he would be better off with you. He's wasted 46 years already. Let's get him home. He can pump iron and eat chips and all that other stuff.
He's got something to look forward to every day. And I know that Timmy can thrive if somebody just, puts some time in there with him. So a couple of weeks from now, I'm going to meet with the Amish, but when I get done, especially since Patrick is kind of down and out right now, Timmy's going to come back to Georgia with me for a couple of weeks. Now, I've got some fun stuff we're going to do. And maybe we can do some Facebook Lives, but Tim's sitting right beside me.
Tim.
Did you guys like that? So, wow.
I mean, so he's created the problem. He's created how Timmy... So far, this is interesting, too, because on August 24th, this Sunday here, where he's doing all this planning and getting Timmy, and how great it would be if he lived with him. Now, hold on a second. This is also the day that he starts talking about the Social Security cards and all that other stuff.
You guys like that?
You guys like that?
Wow. Savannah, I'm trying. I won't be able to.
And this is just this nonsense that he's pitching right here. Savannah asks, when you get the Social Security cards, IDs, birth certificates, etc., maybe they can get SNAP and medical assistance and all this other stuff. They already have all that, and Eric knows that. And later he will admit that he knows that. As a matter of fact, later he's going to throw their assistance in their face for a reason why he doesn't have to pay them. So, yeah, he's still playing dumb on that. Okay. this clip here. This is after the big blow up. And he's reminiscing how he was reassuring Lorraine, actually reassuring Timmy. First of all, he's going to tell you he's reassuring Timmy that he's trying to tell people that Timmy doesn't want to go home. He just wants to stay with Eric all the time. He right now he doesn't want to go home because everybody's saying, "Wait a minute, Timmy's never been away from the family. This is kind of ridiculous, Been having it for like a week at a time. This is getting weird." And Eric will always reassure that he's like the stepdad that is so he's so good to the birth mommy. He just always respects her opinion, but Timmy really wants to only stay with him, and he's forcing Timmy to see his mom once in a while, just for because he's such a good guy. But really, he has to reassure Timmy that he's gonna be back. Timmy.
He said, "Man, you look pissed off." And they're like, "Well, it might be because we got his mom out here." But anyway, everything seemed to be going good,
and he's talking about that Friday where he came back and screamed at everybody after he missed the restraining order. Everything seems to be going good. Okay. No, they're waiting for Eric to explode.
Lorraine was just saying, "I miss my baby." I said,
Betty said, Lorraine was just saying, "I miss my baby." And he's going to say, well, he didn't even want to come home. I'm just doing it for...
Betty, I have been thinking about that. And I said, he's been going, Timmy didn't want to go home. I'll tell you.
That is, I don't believe that for a minute. Don't even believe it.
Right now. He didn't want to. My thing is, that's his mom. That's his mom. Yeah.
Wow, he's so respectful of the birth mother. Isn't that something? The baby mama.
46 years, she had her baby sleeping beside her every...
Right, and do you care? No, now he's sleeping next to who knows who, all your man friends from all over the country in a strange Airbnb. So you believe that Eric is being respectful to what basically he sees as the baby mama at this point.
Mom, yeah.
Yeah, it's his mom. Yeah. You guys love moms, don't you? Over there at Dad Talk. I've heard what you said about moms. Good grief.
That's mom.
So respectful of the birth moms.
Mom, for 46 years, she had her baby sleeping beside her every single night.
Do you care? Nope.
She missed him. And I went and said, "Timmy, you need to go see your mama, dude." And he said, "I come back." And I said, "You'll come back."
I don't believe this at all.
Not today. Like, spend the night with her. And he would ask that about 10 more times. "Today?" I'm like, "No, you're coming back." "Yes, Timmy, I'm coming back." He needs
that reassurance that Eric's going to come back. He just can't even live. At this point, you guys, he can't even live without Eric. He just gets forced to go see his mama, just a little visit, and then he's got to go back with Eric. He needs that reassurance, you guys.
Like, no, you're coming back. "Yes, Timmy.
Oh, he needs that. Yeah.
He needs that reassurance.
Yeah, dude.
Timmy loves that reassurance.
Yeah.
And I said, "I promise you, buddy." And then one of the things I clarified again while I was there, I said, "Betty, are you still going to let Timmy go to Georgia with me?" She said, "Yeah." She said,
"Yep, there you go. He's still going to let Timmy go to Georgia with me."
And I said, "I promise you, buddy." And then one of the things I clarified again while I was there, I said, "Betty, are you still going to let Timmy go to Georgia with me?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Just do me a favor. Make sure he calls and talks to his mama." And I said, "I'll make sure he calls every day." Mm-hmm. And she said, "You don't have to do that." She said, "Just every so often." I said, "No." She said, "He can call her every day and talk to his mama." I think it would be good for them to talk on the phone. And for anybody that doesn't know, Timmy has done very well on his phone. He has not called 911 since. And he just jokes about it now.
So much progress with Eric. Now, this is that day, and I made a video about this, where Eric is at Patrick's house because he cannot get a signal down at the Whitakers. So he goes up to Patrick's house because Betty did not show up to sign the papers for custody or whatever you want to call it, guardianship of Timmy. So he's very angry with Betty. I believe this was a Tuesday morning. But anyway, he's very angry with Betty. She's not going to sign those papers for him to, to have guardianship. And so he called adult protection. And then that is that phone call, that secretly recorded phone call in the ring cam that we heard. And if that was adult protection, good grief. He offered to buy him lunch and pay for the gas, and they came right over. And this is a video he's playing, waiting for the he's doing this this little clip here to post, and he's telling everybody he's waiting for adult protection to come because Betty ain't signing those papers. So they rush right over, and he says in here, I'm not going back to Georgia without Timmy. Not. Go ahead, Eric.
The background and working.
Oh, and he also mentions about his parents being in this business, that his mom was in the adopting kids and guardianship and all this other same stuff. And somebody had a really good point. His mom seems to be in the mix here. The mom, who is apparently, according to Eric, has made a lifetime of getting guardianship of people, and she's in the mix here, Eric's mom, and he always uses that to boost his credibility for taking care of all these disabled people and adopting Timmy. His mom did it, you know what I mean? And the funny thing is, people are saying that there's a connection between that Suni, I think, and Eric's mom. Anyway, so just some shady stuff about that adult protection, and I think he's being coached by his mom about the ins and outs and how to get a hold of adult protection, how to get custody from somebody. I believe that. And other people made those comments. I believe that she's probably given Eric some tips on how to get custody of somebody real quick.
I'm working or being around mental health my whole life. That's my dad.
Yeah, so he uses this as part of his resume, reasons why he can butt his nose in everybody's business and try to take people away from their homes. Go ahead, Eric. Sorry to interrupt you.
The background and working or being around mental health my whole life.
He's got a background of this.
My dad did that with the community, and then my mom did that as a full-time job. And so I accepted. And he asked me to get on video numerous times before I actually did. There's somebody pulling up here.
Yep, this is when adult protection pulls up, and he gets the ball rolling to get them all taken away.
I'll keep you updated. Just pray for me.
Pray for him. Yeah.
I want to go back to Georgia so bad right now, but I'm not leaving Timmy.
There. I want to go back to Georgia right now, but I'm not leaving Timmy. No, Timmy's going to go back.
I'll see you.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back to Georgia right now, but he's not leaving without Timmy. So for those who did not see Eric, all the times that he said he was bringing Timmy back to Georgia, there you go. And I'm sure there's probably even more clips I didn't have, but it's kind of been a long video. Some of you like the long ones, maybe some don't, I don't know. Some of you said you don't mind. So anyway, been a long one, but there you go. Hope it was helpful. Peace.